we had some lunch, some koftas here at Summerland Camels. Watched the sunset in this beautiful valley here on the scenic rim. And it's time to cook some dinner. I'm gonna do some gnocchi, the beautiful Summerland CAMEL Fetta. We've used this before, but I'm gonna show you how to use it a little bit different. I'm gonna whip that up. We're gonna do a fried gnocchi tonight. I'm just gonna take you through a couple of tips and tricks on making a nice gnocchi. Got a great recipe here for you, foolproof. I've got the potatoes on. I've got 1 kilo cooking. It's about 5–10 minutes away. And one of the first tips for cooking gnocchi is don't cut your potatoes too small. The smaller you cut them, the more water they're going to take on if they start overcooking. And also bring the water up and down, so cook them gently, because a bigger potato is going to cook obviously faster on the outside than the in, so you want to cook it gently so it gets a nice even cook. If you cook it too quick when the potato's too big, it's going to start peeling and you're going to lose potato to the water. So keep them big, cook it gentle. That's the first tip. All right, second tip, 00 flour. So 00 flour, it's a finer grind. You can feel it. It almost feels like corn flour. That's how fine it is. This one's just going to give you a superior product, a nice velvety gnocchi at the end. So all I'm going to do for this recipe, it's super simple, just so we can get the beautiful flavors of the camel milk feta. We're just going to go some roast pumpkin, got some butternut here, the whipped camel milk, and a little bit of fresh basil, and that's it, guys. So let's get stuck in. While the potatoes are cooking, we'll cut up the pumpkin. Just take the skin off and then dice it. I like it for this application, I like it in nice little cubes, but you can also, I'm going to grill this, so I'm going to initially slice it, and then once it's all grilled up, I'm going to cut it into nice little cubes. So yeah, I'm just going to prep it up, and then we're going to whip out the Weber Q. All right guys, so the potatoes are all cooked. So in 2 stages you want to do these. So you want to mash them warm, but you've got to take some temperature out of them before you start making the gnocchi, otherwise you'll cook the egg out, and you really don't want that. So just mash them up warm, mash them dry. Always mash your potatoes dry first, even if you just make a mashed potato at home, because if you got any moisture, any excess moisture, if you start putting butter or cream or milk in your potatoes, not that we're going to do in this recipe, but when you are making mash, any lumps that are in there, the more moisture you've got in there, they're just going to move out of the way of the masher. So you're really not going to get a smooth potato. So mash them up. And at this point, we're going to add just a little bit of seasoning. You've got to be careful seasoning your potato when you make a gnocchi, because you are making a dough, and too much salt, even if you love salt, it's going to make the gnocchi pasta puff. So just a little bit. All right, and then we're just going to let that sit aside while I rip out the Weber. You want to take out, you want to make sure you can touch it so that when you mix it, the egg's not going to scramble. All right. So I'll probably give that 10 minutes. We should be able to start making the dough. While I'm doing that, let's grill off the pumpkin so we can get this going. All right guys, got the Weber Q set up. It's a bit hot. I've just broken up the pumpkin that I've sliced up. So those semi-lunas like that. A little bit of olive oil in the toss. Salt, pepper. Yeah, all right, just straight on the Q, grill them up. You really just want to get a char or a roast flavor, but just be careful. You don't want to get this, not like the Sunday roast style pumpkin. You still want a little bit of texture to it, a bit of structure, because we are going to put this back in a pan. And I'm not doing a lot to this pumpkin in this dish really, because I really want to hero the gnocchi and the feta. So lid down, cook those off. When they're just about ready, we'll rip them out, let them cool off, cut them up. And while that's happening, our gnocchi should be, or our potato should be cool enough for us to start making the dough. All right, you can do this in 1 or 2 ways. You can add the egg first to the potato, and then slowly add the flour, or add the flour and the egg after. I always do the egg first, because every potato is different, and if you do lose a bit of potato in the cooking process, yeah, the flour ratio will be out. So I'll add the egg to this bit, to the potato, and then add the flour. I'll do it in like 3/4, mix it in, check it, and then just keep adding it as I need it. One of the things to be super wary of when you're making gnocchi is overworking the dough. If you overwork the gnocchi, it'll be super chewy, and you really don't want that. You want that sort of velvety, still got structure, but when you bite into it, it's just a super velvety pillow. All right, so you can see I put that egg in there. It's not scrambling. The potato's cold enough to mix through. All right, and I'm using a spatula. I'm not using any metal whisk or anything like that. So really, really, really don't want to overwork this dough. So I'll get that egg mixed in nice and well. Then when I add the flour, we're just going to fold it in really. You don't need it like a pasta dough. You just give it a little bit of structure. All right, as I said, 3/4. Just mix it in softly. I do this in a bowl. You'll see some guys, some Italian dudes, other chefs mix it on the table. I make a mess of it every time, so I always keep it in a bowl at the start and then transfer it onto a board or the bench after. All right, so this is going to take me probably about five or so minutes to gently mix this in. So I'll show you what the consistency needs to look like once it's done. All right, as you can see, the pumpkin's nice and grilled. I'm just going to cut it up a little bit so it's going to be nice in the pan, just a little bit. And after that, we're going to tackle this gnocchi. I'm going to show you what consistency you're looking for. All right, that's all done now. Clean off this board. Set that aside for later. Let's get it nice and clean. Little bits, because it's going to be our working surface for rolling the gnocchi. Okay, now consistency wise, you can see the gnocchi, it's just starting to come together, and when you touch it, it's not sticky. Up until this point, every time I sort of touched it, it would sort of come away on my fingers. So you want to get it to just to that point and no further, because the more flour you add there, the tougher it's sort of going to get. You're going to take away from that real soft velvety gnocchi you're looking for. All right, I added probably to what I had there an extra tablespoon of flour, just so you know. The ratios, gnocchi's a feel thing. You can sort of get it to the closest amount with like your kilo and your 300 grams and your 1 egg. All right, I've got a bit more flour here. Just a little bit on the board. Turn that out. I love working with, if you've got them, pastry cutters or scrapers in this exercise or this technique, because you can sort of get over the top of it. We're going to use my knife tonight, but if you got one, it's going to be your best use. So flour there, just sort of feel it, just keep some on your fingers. All right, just going to cut it up. Doesn't really matter, just sort of keep it even size. Just going to roll it out, and sort of the length of your workbench. On a big table, I'd roll them out super long and I could cut them all out. I'm working in the kitchen, but here, less stress, a little bit of a smaller area, so just work with what you got. So I always say, guys, this is cooking in the bush, cooking for yourselves. Don't put too much pressure on yourselves. See that? Nice and gentle, yep. Feels absolutely stunning, that dough. So all I've done there is I want to make sure that my gnocchi is going to be all even, and it's going to cook all at the same time. Because if you've got different shapes, you're going to drop them into water in a second, and if the different sizes are going to cook in different rates, and then overcooked gnocchi is going to be more chewy. All right, so that is how I want it. Even cuts. All right, and you get those beautiful pillows. All right, so I'm gonna do that with the rest of this. We're gonna have a nice amount of gnocchi. This recipe will do, depending on how hungry your guests are, or your mates are, or your camp crew are, between probably about 6 people, maybe a bit more. So if you've only got a couple of people, you can make it, cook it, cool it down, chuck it in the fridge or in the freezer. So yeah, That's all. I'll see you in a minute. I'm going to show you how easy it is to roll out some gnocchi.
Yeah.
He's washed his hands. All right, so you're going to get a bit of flour on your hands. So the reason we do that, just rub it in like that, just so your hands don't stick to the dough. Because it is a soft dough. I mean, if you're making any dough, you really want to get
dough just goes through my fingers, mate.
All right, so what we're going to do, just going to take your little sausage there. We're just going to roll it. We're going to touch about that pressure.
Okay.
And just going to go between this part of your finger and the pad of your hands. Yep, perfect. Get a little bit of flour on that one there. Yeah, so you're good over here. Just your left hand's going a little bit straight.
Yeah, I'm left-handed, mate.
And sweet. All right, perfect.
Okay, look at that.
Nice. Now what you're going to do, you're just going to take your take the knife and just cut them evenly, same size as that. All right?
Okay.
Wait.
Left-handed, mate.
Southpaw. Nice. Mad.
Is there a race to see who can do it the fastest? I'll be good at that.
All right. So that's how easy it is. Gleno can do it, anyone can do it.
It's true.
All right, here we are, blanching the gnocchi. Blanching just basically means part cooking in the water. Got the pot boiling. So I'm just using this scraper, gently lift it up. Probably do 1.5 scrapers. And just let that come back to the boil. Gnocchi is ready to pull out as soon as it floats. All right, so lid back on, let that water come back to temperature. When it floats, rip it out, coat it in some oil so it doesn't stick. I've just got some oil in the bottom of the bowl here. And then when I rip it out, I'll just add a touch more. And remember, slotted spoon. Take it out and go in batches, small batches. All right, see you when she's done. All right, guys. So all my batches of gnocchi are done. Pumpkins cut up, ready to go. So I've just taken the cubes of CAMEL Fetta out, chucked them in a bowl, whisked them up till I get it nice and smooth like this. You'll see why in a minute. All right, so fried gnocchi time. Got that pan nice and hot. Oh, here we go. Just gonna take roughly a portion, so it's gonna be around about a handful, straight in.
Numbo carumbo.
Numbo carumbo. All right, so this is just gonna add like a nice, another dimension to your gnocchi. Because you're gonna get like a nice crispy sort of outside fried situation going on. Lift any that are staying. Keep them moving. You can see that browning up. Lovely crisp. So it's like a perfect balance between like a fried potato and a pasta. Beautiful. All right, when we get a little bit of color on that, we're gonna add some pumpkin just to warm it up. Then we're gonna go straight on the pan, add a little bit of feta, garnish it with some basil, and that's it, guys. Oh my God, look at that fried gnocchi. Look at that fried gnocchi. Lovely. All right, sweet. So this is ready to go pretty much now. All right, so we're just gonna go straight on a plate. I like serving pastas on a plate. In a bowl's fine, but I just like the way it sits.
It's very inviting.
I'm telling you, you'll never have gnocchi any other way, or at least for a couple of months. So we're just gonna add little amounts of that feta. It's gonna warm up, sort of ooze into that gnocchi. Just a little bit.
And this is the CAMEL Fetta.
This is
Summerland CAMEL Fetta.
That's the one.
This stuff by itself is gorgeous too.
Yeah. You whip it up, you can see it's super velvety again, a bit more. And then we're just gonna break some basil into that.
I was going to do that for you, but I thought I'd chuck it all on the ground.
It's all right, mate. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, it does look good. Look at that.
Nice sprig of basil. Just give it a nice little hit with some nice olive oil. Just a little one. Cracked pepper. All right, Gleno, You want to take that one?
I will.
I'm gonna meet you over at the fire.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
All right, mate, is there any left?
Mate, I've been trying to wait, but
You're
I
right.
had to start.
This is literally one of my favorite things to cook, favorite things to eat,
So easy to eat.
favorite thing to cook my friends. What do you think, mate?
Beautiful, mate. Those flavours. I love basil. A lot better.
What do you think of that fried gnocchi?
Yeah, good.
It's different, right? Yeah.
Just everything with it. Just the oil. Just beautiful, mate. Well done.
Hey y'all, I hope you enjoyed that episode of CookemUp. Now if you want to rewatch that video, get the recipe card or have a look at any of the ingredients, just go to superbutcher.com.au/superchef. You can also have a look at some of our other recipes, tips and tricks that we've got on there for everyone.